Support for this podcast comes from Spot Hero. You've got to be smart to navigate this city, and Spot Hero can help. With Spot Hero, you can pre-book and guarantee a great parking spot every time you go out, and save. Just get the Spot Hero app, search for a spot, pay, and go straight there. No need for cash. No worries about losing the paper ticket. No parking spot wars with strangers. Use the promo code RESERVE and you'll receive $10 off your first reservation. Spot Hero. Park smarter.
Welcome to the War Room. We got Dev, Kill, Jimmy, PJ, B. Austin, the Hot Block Commander. How you want it in a 1 or 2 hour show to keep the brain running with the premise to talk sports on a national level. Roll with the topic, sorta like the rebels. When it's game time, they like the Fab Five during prime time. Sports conglomerates speak their minds a little bit. For sports medicine and sports veterans and greats. The 4th and 26th, so the war in Kuwait. It's the War Room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.
What's good, War Room family? You are once again live in the War Room, brought to you by War Room Sports on the War Room Sports Podcast Network. One of your hosts, Dev McMillan. I'm at the round table. In a minute, I'll be joined by Jimmy the Blueprint and hopefully B. Austin. The NBA is still dominating the news cycle, so who are we not to continue to discuss this thing of ours? We'll rap about the past week in the NBA, but you know we got to stop and pay some bills before we do. So first, make sure you join us right now in the JW Philly Realty chat room at blogtalkradio.com/The War Room, or join us on Facebook or Twitter at War Room Sports. You can also call us directly in about 5 minutes when we open up the Digital Extreme Tech Hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Do all of that now, but during the week, every week, make sure to check out the War Room Sports Podcast Network. Besides our own podcast, the War Room, you can also listen to shows such as the Broad Street Line with Roy and Chris and the Broad Street Line Express. The Tissue and the Tape Hip Hop Show with Philmatic and Savad. John Appetit for all you foodies out there with the Burtons. For NBA heads, No Look Podcast with Frank and Andy. On the Couch with the Wilsons for movie and TV fanatics. And upcoming this week, be sure to check out our new NFL show, Cover 2 with McMillan and Purdue. Just check the warroomsports.com website and click the WRS Podcast Network tab, or go to our free mobile app and click the network tab there. Jimmy, what up? What's going on, bro? Y'all there? Y'all good? Everything straight? I believe you're muted. Well, I don't know what's going on with Jimmy and his microphone, but it's been a strange week. In sports, outside of sports. I don't know how many of you folks have been keeping up with current affairs, things that aren't really that important. But if you're on social media, you probably saw that the homie Rob Kardashian, what we call him here now, Rob Drawdashian, was all over Instagram. And then when they booted him, he was all over Twitter, basically dragging his baby mama, Blac Chyna's name, throughout the mud. Crazy situation because, as the day was going on, people were actually showing me some of his posts, and he really seems like a bitter dude. Like, he really seems like somebody who's basically a simp who got taken because he really had nothing to offer somebody like that but some money. Seems like she may have gotten what she wanted, and after that, it was all she wrote. So he's all on Instagram and Twitter talking about how she cheated on him and all kinds of ignorant mess and posting naked photos of her. Not sure where he was going with that, as if everybody on social media hadn't already seen Blac Chyna naked in the first place, but what's up with your man Drawdashian?
Listen, I'm gonna pray for the brother, man. I think he's sick, man. It's one of those situations where he was the last at the party to know what was going on. We already knew what she was about, so like nothing shocking. I don't even think you
I
can
don't think
embarrass
he
her.
was the last at the party. I just think he tried to make one a housewife. He was just
No,
too,
what I mean by that is I think he genuinely thought that she cared. Like we knew, like I remember when they first got together and said they were engaged and all that, and like social media was going off then talking about, dog, like she's playing you, like she don't really bang with you like that.
Nobody that looked like that banged with Rob Kardashian other than
And
for
he
his
wasn't
money.
even trying to hear that. He like, y'all don't know her. I know her heart, and he's like you said, a simp. I mean, listen, man, the boy's sick, man.
Now he trying to show us the outer casing of her heart all on social media.
Yeah, my thing is that you can't embarrass someone like that by showing nudes. Like like, come on, cuz.
That's going to up her career. Whatever career she claims, that's going to.
I mean, the whole thing, and even beyond that, for me, the first thing I thought of is like, I'm not into like, revenge porn. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the ladies that send nudes, but like you can't. So he's ruining that game for one. For two, it's like, that's your baby mother, B. So at some point you're gonna have a kid, and they're gonna look at you like, this is my dad, because man, they're gonna grow up. This stuff is on the internet forever. Like, so whether
they were gonna do that at some point anyway, but yeah, he's giving them a real good reason to.
Dog, it's like, you. I mean, I understand. Listen, man, we all got feelings, man. It's like, you could be the most thugged out dude in the world. There's always gonna be a chick that gets you. I don't care who you are. You've been through it, and if you say you're not, you're lying. But at the same time,
something else. But
yeah, or you know what I mean, or you got a little sugar in your tank. But that's cool too. That means the dude broke your heart. But at the same time, man, listen, you can't just you can't react that way though, B. You just can't react that way. And you know what I mean, like, you can't disrespect the mother of your children that way. You just gotta take the L.
Yeah. Did you hear that his sisters?
Lessons, man.
His sisters were upset with him, saying that his revenge porn tour is hurting the family name. Like, are y'all serious?
Hey, y'all giving out
y'all got the family name. Like, come on, man.
Come on, cuz y'all give out blowskis on camera. You turn my man on crack. Y'all gotta, they whole family.
They talking about you embarrassing the family name.
Dog, y'all pop got his or her issues. Like the whole family is like. Come on, guys.
It's trash money.
Your dad has her issues.
Oh, you're talking about their other pop. Yeah,
the other pop.
Yeah.
Pop.
It's crazy, man. All right, we ain't gonna waste a lot of time on Rob Kardashian. I just needed to see if you brothers, because I know y'all weren't following it, so that's the wrong word to use. But people were.
I mean, you couldn't get away from it.
There were a lot
no
of
matter
people
what you did.
away from it. People were just into it, and every little group we trying to, you're talking sports. People posting Rob Kardashian posts.
Because a lot of it was like, can you believe this boy? Like people were shocked.
Yeah, and then a lot of it was just, all right, it's patties
to an extent,
on the internet.
Black China
I'm gonna share these
Black
patties.
China is a sport. I mean, she is. Yeah. She's definitely a sport.
Black China, listen, man, none of us will send you nudes, though. That's all I'm saying.
I got one last comment because he was talking about how he paid for her to get surgery and he was clowning her because her nipple was big. Like, I saw nothing wrong with that. But
I
maybe
found
it
that
was just
interesting
me.
because I guess I'm not in the know. I didn't like when it comes to plastic surgery. I'm always shocked at the type of surgeries people get. Like, who knew that was a thing? Like, give me bigger nipples. Like,
but did anything look wrong with that?
No, nothing look wrong with it.
It looked quite beautiful, but
nothing look wrong with it. But I'm just amazed at like some of the things that people like. And I guess to each his own. Some things bother people more than others, but. Like, people be getting, like, fake dimples put in their face. Like, the stuff that people get when they get plastic surgery is, like...
Yeah.
Real talk.
It's better than the fake dimples. It's better than the fake dimples in the ass.
Yeah. Ass shot the whole different level.
My opinion on this goes way down deep, so I ain't got no bars for these people, man.
All right. You had to announce that to us?
I got to announce that I ain't got nothing to say.
We could. Let's just move on. Jimmy, let everybody. Well, no. We're gonna get right into this NBA talk because the NBA has been dominating the news cycle for like the past month, and usually come late June, early July, it's like NFL time. So it's kind of interesting to me that the NBA is still doing everything it can to dominate this news cycle. So let's get into that, man. Let everybody, let the good people know who this NBA rap is brought to them by. You.
Absolutely. NBA rap is brought to you by Sports the Book. If you're tired of reading the same old sports book with sports lists and cliches and all kinds of garbage, listen, man, here's what you do. Pick up your copy of Sports the Book. It's the Illmatica Sports Book. You can get it from warroomsports.com or sportsthebook.com. And if you go to sportsthebook.com and get it, you can get yourself an autographed copy. You dig? So, with that being said, do not miss the movement, sportsthebook.com. And that's the NBA rap is brought to you by this. So let's get into the NBA rap. First story, Gordon Hayward. He chooses Boston.
Idiot.
Now, Boston, we know, went to the ECF. Adding Gordon Hayward, how much better does this actually make Boston?
Well, first, I wanted to remark at how, Gordon Hayward is not Kevin Durant, but, he kind of held July 4th hostage for all the basketball fans who were worried about that. And there was actually an ESPN writer who broke the story that Gordon Hayward later denied, saying that he hadn't made up his mind. And then an hour later, this long letter comes out on the Players Tribune. So that was so easy to see through that he wanted to control the narrative himself. He wanted to break the news himself. He was probably in the middle of getting his letter edited when this guy actually, and I believe it was Chris Haynes, who sent out a tweet saying that free agent Gordon Hayward plans to sign with the Boston Celtics. Did y'all see any reason to do that when you were just going to announce the same thing? I'm like, okay, somebody beat you to it. You didn't get your letter out before he said that, but what was the point of denying the report? Anybody?
Because these little dudes are entitled. They feel entitled to control their own brand and their own narrative and voice.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, a little bit corny to do. All right, he got it. You can be a little salty that the report came out early, but why deny what you're going to announce in about an hour anyway? So
yeah,
just don't say anything and bring your letter out in an hour. Because, it was a holiday, so a lot of people probably didn't even see that report. And if they did, so what? Like, who are you? You're Gordon Hayward. All right, but my bad, Jim. Back to your question. You asked us if it would make them better.
I can't see that it doesn't make them better, but how much better? Like, does it really mean anything in the grand scheme of things? Like, adding him to the lineup you have.
Yeah, I think the question you're looking for is, does it make them more competitive, and does that competitive edge give them a chance to really make any noise? It makes them better, but it doesn't give them an edge to win the East. I don't believe if LeBron stays put.
I mean, I don't even necessarily think they get. It's not about necessarily beating Cleveland, but it's about like how much closer are they? Like, are they now one player away? Like, I mean, I guess you always say somebody's one player away if that one player is LeBron, but LeBron ain't one. I think it's always
right now the way the East is set up. I think it's always about beating Cleveland. They should.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think we all in agreement in saying that they ain't gonna get past Cleveland with him. But how does this bring them any closer? Like, in terms of, is it still like, was this a waste? Like,
they lose in 5 or 6, instead of 5, because this one should have actually been a sweep. Boston won that game off emotion after Isaiah Thomas went down for the rest of the series. Bench guys came in, stepped up. They played one of those emotional games. They were down 18 in that game, and they actually pulled one out. So they merely avoided the sweep. So with a Gordon Hayward, maybe 5, maybe 6, but I'm not 100% certain, Jimmy, that it makes them better at all. And I'm a Gordon Hayward fan. He has games.
Even if you say what you just said, right, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of hilarious. So you have this guy who's quote-unquote a big-name free agent. You add him to your roster, and what you're telling me is, best case scenario, you win one more game.
I mean, because, they were already the number 1 seed. But no, and what I'm saying is no knock to Gordon Hayward whatsoever because he's a hell of a player. You know, he deserved that All-Star bid. What I am saying, though, is the reports of what Boston is possibly going to have to give up to get him signed to this max contract. They're talking about 2 starters and core guys being on the block, and those guys are Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley. If you add Gordon Hayward and you get rid of Bradley,
you're giving up your defense.
Jay Crowder, you're giving up your defense. You're giving up your defense. So the trade-off is probably not worth it unless they can find some cheaper guys that they can put around them to do the exact same thing that these guys can do. But we were all remarking throughout the playoffs and throughout this season of how Avery Bradley was coming into his own and he improved so much. If you get rid of him and Jay Crowder and you fill it with what? Like, some of the young guys that they have now, do they really get better? Do they really get any closer to Cleveland? So I'm like, there's something to be said about giving up
to Gordon
your
Hayward.
core guys. Yeah, your core. Like, shout out to
no disrespect to Gordon Hayward, but he's not a defender and never has been and never will be. So I think that's a very valid point. Giving up your perimeter defense to get more scoring to stop people less. That's a step down to me. That's a step down.
Yeah. Shout out to the homie Ron Glover from the Starting Five because we were having a conversation this morning, and he was, he expressed exactly what I was thinking, basically saying, when you start removing the quote unquote glue guys from your roster, then it might not matter how many scorers you have. I mean, you got 2 All-Stars, but you remove the guys who actually make the thing tick. I don't know. It's a dangerous move. Not saying that they can't do other things to put people around them, but I think those are 2 guys that the Celtics really can't afford to lose if they really want to make this thing work and improve. So, I mean, teams want to, you want to super team up. You better get ready to pay that luxury tax instead of getting rid of your guys.
I don't know what Danny Ainge is doing, yo. I don't know what Danny Ainge is doing. Like, I just don't know.
I mean, I'm not, because we always clown him about how he stacks assets. But at the same time, maybe everybody in the league is not buying what he's selling. So he can offer them assets until his face turns blue. If nobody's taking those deals, then it's nothing Danny Ainge can do.
All right, yeah. So
unless he panics and just does something real silly. So I guess if I'm playing devil's advocate, I can give him props for not panicking and just doing something silly.
You can. But on the flip side, if I'm a farmer and I specialize in making corn, but nobody wants my corn, do I keep adding corn or do I go figure something else out? Because my man is consistently stacking corn. Don't nobody want his corn.
You ain't got a choice if ain't nobody buying it.
Yeah, but my thing is he goes and gets more. It's not that he's staying pat. He goes out and gets more picks. He like, yo, make more corn. Eventually they're gonna want this corn. Danny, nobody wants your corn, B.
Only deals he can get is offing his play. And that's the thing. You go and get rid of an Avery Bradley and a Jay Crowder, you're gonna be stacking more corn.
Yo,
I mean,
Danny,
truthfully,
corn,
the rumors about that offer to Paul George, it seemed to me like it was better than what OKC gave up. So maybe people just don't want to do business with Danny Ainge. I don't know.
That's why I don't believe that was a real offer. Like, I think he put that out there. I'm not sure how true that is.
I think it might. I mean, there might be something to Eastern Conference teams hating on other Eastern Conference teams.
Yeah,
we always see Cleveland getting up in these 3-player deals, and they always, people help the rich get richer. Indiana might not be about that life right now. Like,
but I also heard it was a situation where Indiana didn't want to like also, they wanted to put Paul George somewhere he really didn't want to be, and nobody wants to really live in OKC.
Right.
Not even
that didn't matter because that was going to be a 1-year punishment. At
but
most,
it's like if I can give you
I try to trade the trade deadline to the league.
Yeah, if I can give you a 1-year punishment, I'm cool on that too. Let me give you something though. You're gonna get this punishment.
Yeah, you still get to you get to play with the MVP. So they might have a special season. They're not gonna win anything, but it's possible.
He doesn't pass.
A special season. Yeah, but
shout out to the special season.
Like I don't. Just off paper, if they kept the team like it is, hell yeah, they get better. Real question, like B said earlier, is like, do they get any closer? Can they beat Cleveland? I think that's a no either way. But if they get rid of these two guys, man, even if they get rid of one of them, like it's going to set the team back a little bit. So I guess
the one good thing they got going for them is that they do play in the East. So
yeah,
it makes
so they can
back.
still grab a top 3 seed, and get smashed by the Cavs again after LeBron rests, like Jimmy said, for 41 games this year, and he's super fresh going into the playoffs. But then what? I mean, are they young enough?
Jay Crowder at the very least, Jay Crowder will make LeBron take 30 shots in the first 3 quarters to get his 40, 45, as opposed to someone else making him take 20 shots. I mean, just make him work harder. Like and I'm looking at that in the playoffs. In the regular season, getting rid of those 2 guys means if there's any tightly contested games and they need to get a stop, they ain't getting it. And Avery Bradley, that's what he's made his bones on in the league, is being able to defend and play that 2-guard spot, 3-man. So I don't know. It's all a moot point.
Yo, they did all this and gonna win one more game. That's gonna be the funniest thing ever, yo.
Screen team.
That's gonna be, that's gonna be the funniest thing ever. But so overall, I mean, the East is what it is. Shout out to Boston. You know what I'm saying? I heard a rumor that they were trying to stack all the Jakubian players over in Boston, but I don't know, man. You hear anything about that, B. Austin?
He definitely fits the motto of being the face of the franchise. He fits into that, where but there's a rumor. There's a rumor going out that they're going hard after Marc Gasol, and I'm like, okay, so maybe that's his plan. Who knows? Like, who knows? Anyway, got tired of Obama being the president. Had to go the other way and reverse course, market correction. Got tired of Paul Pierce being the face of Boston. Had to get that market correction right. So, it makes sense.
Yo, shout out to Gordon Hayward, though. But listen, though, let's talk about other news in the NUBA. Let's talk about Swaggy P's new team, where your man Kevin Durant took $9.5 million less to give the Warriors some flexibility. However, Steph took the Supermax deal and was like, no, B, I need that chicken. What do you think about the moves that the Warriors are making? I mean, the Warriors, Steph got paid. KD took a little bit less. And automatically, the first thing I saw people say is, see, that's what LeBron doesn't do, is doesn't take less. But no one got on Steph for, taking his bread. But what do you think about what the Warriors doing?
They get on Steph, because Steph earned what he got. If KD wants to continue to be in this team that really didn't need him to win a championship, then KD's going to have to be the one to play ball. So I don't not at all for getting his money. Think about it, Jim. Like we were guilty of it as well, as well as every other talking head and pundit out there. Nobody was 100% sure that Steph Curry would even last in the NBA. Let alone be the 2-time MVP, 2-time NBA champion. Go get your money. If who's going to
even to go further,
a 73 win year and an MVP season, and losing the finals barely. If he wants to join that, he's gonna be the one to play ball. So
and you know what? I'm not mad at that either, Jimmy, because as great as Steph is, and he's definitely stepping into that threshold of greatness. When you really look at the upper echelon of players, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, probably Anthony Davis, and maybe 1 or 2 other guys will always be able to command the max. I mean, these are guys that will command the max until they're 36, 37 years old. Steph Curry, despite all of his greatness, 2-time MVP, this, that, and the third, he has a limited window where he can capitalize on max deals because he's a 6'3" point guard who is athletically average. Skill-wise, I don't fault him for going after his money. Go get it when you can.
I agree with your reasoning. I don't know if I agree with the premise. Like, Steph has become a big enough superstar to where, if he's not playing at the exact same level, he still can command money because just of what he brings to the table as far as fans, popularity, and stuff like that. We know it all counts, even though, sometimes I think it probably should. So I just think he's at a place now where he's just a megastar. So unless he's later in his career and he has to take a bath to get, to stay with or get on a good team, I think he'll be able to command math. I mean, think about it. It's the NBA. It's not really that hard to do. You're thinking if you were the GM, you would be thinking on a much more intelligent plane than the people that are running these teams now, giving out these exorbitant deals to, and I'm not talking about Steph, but fairly marginal players getting $10 to $20 million a season because that's what the market now is. I think you're thinking from an intelligent place, but I just don't know if it's out that way.
Yo, also like
I can't not subscribe to the intelligent course. I always feel like big bank take little bank. If I got a big guy that has an amazing skill set and a little guy that has an amazing skill set, I got to pay the big guy. Salute to Al Harrington trying to get another contract out of the big three too. Speaking of skill sets.
What I'm saying is this though, like I've also read that sometimes these guys, like, look, they have to spend a certain amount of money because some of these owners, if they don't spend the money, the owners won't allow them to spend it ever. So it's not like I gotta be active with the bread to show that I need the bread. Essentially, I gotta have this money in play. It's sort of like running a nonprofit. Like these owners, man, these owners are vicious. Some of these owners don't care about winning chips. You know what I'm saying? They just don't.
Well,
you know what I mean? They just don't. So as a president
come a time when Golden State is not dominant like that anymore, and you might be giving Steph just to keep those in the seat. Whether they always say Steph is the everyman. He's the people look up to Steph because he looks like one of them.
Can't nobody shoot like that. But let's get to the phone lines though. We got several calls online. I don't want to lose some of these calls. Let's get Lou calling in from North Jersey. Lou, you are in the war room. What's going on?
Okay, we're
what up,
that
Lou?
deep to come. All right. Boy, what a week it's been with the free agent frenzy, though. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's going on, Lou?
Well, some of them may be worth it, but some of them are not. I mean, Kyle Lowry, he's not worth $100 million. Believe me, he is not worth $100 million.
Which the reason, Lou, full disclosure, I'm a 76er. Earlier in the summer, he talked about where his sources said he wanted to come home. A lot of people in Philadelphia were excited about it, but I'm like, you don't pay Lowry that kind of money. And then at the end of the deal, he'll be like 36 years old, and you'll be paying a 36-year-old good enough to grab the next deal anyway. You'll be paying him in excess of $30 million while he's an old guy on the team with all of these youngsters. So, I agree with you. He definitely I support Lowry, but I just don't think he's a max player.
No, definitely not. I mean, Dirk, well, he's sort of a max player. I mean, at least he's going to, try with Dallas to get for 2 more years. I mean, now that's he's worthy of a max deal, I think.
Well, they only gave him what they give him, Jimmy, like 2 years, $10 million. Yeah, that's just a parting gift for Dirk for all he's done for the organization. He and Mark Cuban are really good friends, so I look at that as a parting gift. Allow Dirk to play, 20 years. he's not going to make a contract.
I don't like Mark Cuban.
He leaves a lot of room.
20 years of service. A lot of people don't, but his organization is profitable and successful. Two things: profitable and successful on the court. That's hard to do.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with the whole thing with Hayward and his absurd deal of $128 million, is he really worth that much? I don't think so.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
you know what, Lou? I think that what you're looking at is similar to what I look at. I don't believe that there's more than maybe 4 max guys in the NBA, but we got to treat this the same way we treat overvalued real estate. You know, when you look at the bubble, guys get paid based on the market, not what their true intrinsic value is. Do I think Hayward is max money? Absolutely not. But in this climate, you got to pay him max money to get that level of player and production. It just kind of is what it is. I hate it. You hate it. I think Dev and Jimmy hate it. I'm not quite sure, but it is what it is. You can't really change it.
Just so the bubble doesn't burst.
Oh, it will.
I mean, but they'll be fighting again the next collection. Jimmy, you were about to say something?
No, I was saying it will. It's just I agree with what B. Austin said. You look at the NBA, there aren't too many max players, and these numbers, they seem outrageous. It's the same way in baseball, essentially, too. But this is what the market is. I mean, the players, no matter how good they are, good or bad they are, they share in the revenue with the owners. This is the business of sports. So, I mean, it's going to get more egregious. As more money flows into these sports, it's going to become more egregious, and you'll have guys getting $200 million contracts putting up 12 points a game.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of audio problem.
I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. Huge. Probably one of my favorite players to watch. I don't think he's worth him. I don't think he's worth a max deal.
Curry, more or less. He's worth a lot. Maybe at the max, but he's worth a lot more than some of the other players.
True, absolutely.
Yeah, this is true. But Lou, we got to get some more calls. Lou, thanks for your call. We appreciate the call in, Lou, and you brought up some great points. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Thank you.
Take it easy. All right. We got another call on. Can y'all hear? Yo, is my audio cool?
Testing.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you guys now.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know. We're having some audio problems here. People are sorry about that.
You smack
Bear
yourself.
with us.
Yo, but as I was saying, man, we got the homie Rob on the line calling in from Cali. Let's bring him on the line. Let's see if he's out there partying with the Ball family. Rob, what's up?
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Jimmy nephew, what's good?
What's goody, Rob?
Okay. Yo, what's up, man? It's your boy Rob, a.k.a. the Black Bambino knocking hoes at the park. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Rob, a.k.a. You know what I mean? Lay down the wood like a lumberjack. Yo, what's good, man? How y'all doing?
Ain't no, what's goody, man? How you?
Yo, man. Summertime in Cali, man.
I always look forward to the AKAs, man.
Yo, man. It's Cali time. Your boy is out here by 10. You know what I'm saying? Home by 10. You know what I mean? It's wild. It's off the chain. You know what I'm saying? Rob, but don't last name is not Kardashian. That's all I gotta say, man. That's the only thing I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Simpsononymous. Anyways, hello?
Yeah, we here. Yeah, we are.
We here, man. We here.
Shoot. Y'all, I don't even get in that discussion. I became like the most hated black guy on the internet because I stuck up for the dude, you know what I'm saying? The guy code. But, anyways, all I got to say is that big contract that they gave Steph Curry, is he worth the money? I don't know, man. I mean, I ain't going to hate on his hustle, but to be honest, Russell Westbrook is worth more that money than he is, but that's neither here or there. And hello?
We listen, man. We let you spit your bars, man. We ain't want to cut you off.
Yeah. I mean, last week, I was kind of disappointed that. It just depends because I know Carmelo is probably going to leave, but what do you think he most likely will end up? Because if he ends up on a Rockets, they have a chance to be a contender, but I don't think he's going to be that good in D'Antoni's system. So what y'all think about Carmelo? I want to sit out on that.
Yo, you know what is interesting is that you look at the landscape of the NBA, like people are moving here and going there, and it's probably about 5 teams that you're paying attention to who we think can compete. Like, I don't know if it's just me, and you guys could weigh in. Like, I don't even see Melo as a chess piece no more. Like, he's not really mentioned as much, nor in my head do I think, well, if Melo goes here, this can happen. Like, Phil Jackson really has messed up Melo's brand.
It really depends.
No, I don't think it's. Yeah, go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it's situational. Like Jimmy said, I don't think it's a situation where you can put Melo anywhere and it's going to put them over the top. If you find a way to get him on Cleveland without having to give up one of your big pieces, then of course, he makes that team much more formidable. But, if you just send him, like if you send him to the Rockets, I'm not 100% sure. That team becomes an immediate threat, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to say, okay, this team could possibly take out the Warriors and get to the finals in the West. But we don't know. Like Jimmy said, Phil might have just tarnished his brand, and Melo might still have some ball in him.
Salute to Carmelo, man. I hear the people out there doubting you. I'm not saying my brother Jimmy is doubting you, but Phil.
No. I'm not doubting his talent or his skills, Bill. Before you go, I just want to tell you what I mean by that. What I mean is, I just don't he doesn't come to mind anymore. Like a couple years ago, he was like, man, if Melo goes here or Melo goes there, he was like, I don't even see. He's not even being talked about like a chess piece on the board in the grand scheme.
No, that's true, but that's not because of Melo. That's not.
Yeah,
it's
I never said it was anything to do with him or his game.
Yeah.
Which is why I said Phil probably ruined his brand. I'm like, no one even thinks about him anymore. It's like he's off in his silo in New York.
Phil. It's not Phil. It's the changing of the league. Even if you took this and say Melo, I think Melo is in the last clutches of his prime. I would still say he's in his prime, but he's not at his peak, right? Even if you took it back to Melo being in his peak, him going somewhere wouldn't put them over the top outside of Cleveland, as Dev said, to beat Golden State. Like, Golden State has developed that squad to a place where it doesn't matter what you do unless you can get 3 to 4 top-level players in your starting lineup, and then starter quality on your bench. Like, starter quality on your bench is what is really missed in the dialogue and conversation about beating Golden State.
Now, here's my thing. Honestly, I don't even think him going to Cleveland gives them a shot to beat Golden State, because the way they go,
quiet is kept. I agree with that too.
The beauty in Golden State is kind of like the unselfishness. You have guys that can put up 30, 40 games, but those dudes play in sync and play as a team, and they like to pass the ball. It harkens back to the old days where you watch the Lakers Celtics and they just shared the ball on Cali. Like there's too many ball stoppers. A lot of our best players in the league, even LeBron, Kyrie, Melo, are ball stoppers. You can't beat a team like Golden State with that many ball stoppers. I mean, not with KD out there.
Is Black China a ball stopper? No, but I agree with you. Melo is talented enough. Melo is talented enough where his skill set. The thing that I don't like when people critique Melo is, yes, he does slow the ball down and he does go one-on-one, but the dude's skill set is so high that he can play. I think he can play at any system. If he's willing to go to Houston,
but here's the question, though.
He's going to get on the treadmill. He's going to do his cardio. He's going to lose 15 pounds. The man can play the 2 through the 4.
All right, well, here's my question. The question is he a ball stopper because of the team that he's playing around, or is that just his game? Like, what you're saying, is that true? Can he adapt?
A little bit of both.
I think he would have to adapt. So I think he's a ball stopper because of the role he's always been thrust into. Because I don't know if I've totally Rob has a little bit of a point. Like, I'm not gonna say he can't play in D'Antoni's system because we've seen him do it before. That first season when he got traded, he only played 27 games with the Knicks. He still averaged 26.3 points, but it did dip down to 22.6 the next season. And I think the beef that he had with D'Antoni wasn't necessarily the fact that he couldn't play or the notion that he couldn't play in the system. I think it's just, it's so focused on the point guard. So you got Melo here, a max player, and D'Antoni's in here trying to make Jeremy Lin into a superstar on Melo's watch. So I think that's the problem they had. And his scoring average did dip like a nice little grip because of that. It went down almost 4 points in that second season, but that was the last of D'Antoni's with the Knicks. Remember, we talked about that. Like, I didn't even understand why the reports are saying Melo is willing to go there. I'm like, do people not remember the beef that they had?
Oh, but Melo came out.
People saw that. People saw that as hate. People saw that as hate on Jeremy Lin, but it really wasn't. Jeremy Lin, anybody that makes it to the NBA is a more than decent player, right? In that system, the way D'Antoni's system works, we've seen guys like Raymond Felton put up all-star numbers, and we know Raymond Felton is not an all-star caliber player. It hypes up and it overuses the point guard to get production. So it's kind of like when you look at that doesn't translate to wins. It just translates to meaningless numbers unless you have all of the requisite pieces in place for that system.
Exactly. I hate it because he coached the Lakers. I hated his system because to me it's more that's some of the stuff I see in college. I mean NBA. Defense wins championships. Offense sells tickets. He'll sell tickets with that offense, but he never really got to the NBA Finals because of that offense. It's a catch-22. Yes, you'll have. You'll have like guys like James Harden be an MVP, but can they get to the next level? I don't think they can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. In the grand scheme of things, Rob, the NBA is kind of weird now overall. So, I mean, it was an interesting point, like bringing up like Melo and all that, but I don't know, man. I just don't know where Melo stands in this whole thing.
Rob's making some decent points today. That's one of the things that I want to ask both of you and Rob. You could chime in. We talked about this kind of at length, but why would James Harden want to go from having the best season of his life to moving back off the ball and sharing that with Chris Paul? That really baffles me. It almost bothered it.
I mean, but I think you said this before. I don't know if it was you or it was Dev, but it's like when I think it was Game 6 or Game 7, you can see that he was exhausted. And I mean, there were other great pieces, Eric Gordon there around him, but that position, I mean, to me, it's not. You can only be Superman so much, You can only be Steve Nash so much to where, he needs help. I mean, Chris Paul would be a good complimentary piece.
I feel that, Rob. But even the only players that run the pick and roll better than James Harden are point guards. Like, he's a top 5 pick and roll player in the league to me. Maybe higher.
Okay. I ask you guys a question. I'm looking at our group chat. and we have a couple of comments there. And it says basically that Harden is running out of gas at the end of these games, and he needs help to kind of eliminate that. And he said also this is some of the same things that LeBron is running into. I don't know if I agree with the whole LeBron thing. Not saying that he's not running out of gas, but, I mean, that's what Kyrie is there for. Harden, I don't think they have anybody else on their team they can just give the ball to and get a bucket.
No, yeah, because that team was basically predicated. That team was predicated on the driving kick. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, something's wrong. Our audio is crazy right now. But anyway, Rob, man, you brought a lot of heat today, Rob, man. Thanks for the call. This is one of your better calls.
Oh, the last question for that.
You must got a new woman or something down there with you, man.
Oh, which one? Which week? But I need. I need to ask one thing. Which piece would you like to see a Lakers get versus trade or free agency in the next 2 years, other than Paul George or LeBron?
Paul George.
Do you think?
Is that a real question?
Yeah, other than Paul George and LeBron, which piece would you like to, or surprise you like to get?
Jimmy, he said other than Paul George.
He said
other than. I thought he said Paul George or LeBron. I was about to say the best player in the world versus like the 13th best player. But anyway.
That's by design. That's his number. That's where he want to be.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. My thing is stay pat. Like, you got at the worst case you got Paul George who wants to come there. He's already recruiting for you. So we need him to go to OKC and recruit Westbrook.
I think that's going to happen.
What? You think? No, I don't think OKC is going to trade Westbrook. That would be a miracle.
They don't have to. He got opt out at the end of the season. You hear me, Rob?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, they don't have to trade him. He can opt out at the end of the season. Let him opt out. Come home to LA. Bring PG. You know what I'm saying? We got Ball at the point. Russ at the 2, PG, Ingram, and whoever you want to play at the 5.
I want Andre Drummond.
Hold on. We'll see. I mean, depends upon who else is on that lineup, man.
Why?
But anyway, Rob.
Yeah, man.
Rob, man, thanks. Can you hear me? Thanks for the call, Rob, man. Like I said, it's one of your better calls. We apologize for any audio we having, but a little bit of issues right now.
It's all right, man. Shout out to Rob Kelly, man. Keep your heart, 3 stacks. Keep your heart. You know what I'm saying? These hoes ain't loyal.
Peace, homie. Yeah, man. So, I don't know if you brothers can hear me. It sounds kind of crazy on my end.
Was my man just caping for Rob Kardashian?
Yeah, man. I guess he's been through the ringer himself.
He was.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
You just wanted to make sure you heard what you thought you heard?
Yeah. And then said these hoes ain't loyal. Do you expect a hoe to be loyal? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, that's why that song is one of the most ignorant songs ever. Like, these hoes, they're a hoe, so by definition, they're not supposed to be loyal. Salute for the hit song, though. The song fire, but don't make no sense at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a song. What's that song H-Town used to have? Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you sad sometimes. Like really? Like we don't know that? Anyway, with that being said, man, moving forward, talking about some more goings on in the NBA. The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron's old team, well, his current team, they tried to get Chauncey Billups in and offer him a low-ball salary. Crazy. A low-ball salary. I think they said it started, like, that position generally starts at about $4 million, and they tried to offer my man $5 million, like we in the 1950s. And
then they upped it. They upped it to 2, and then Chauncey took his name out of consideration for it, and then made his first appearance in the Big 3 because he wasn't trying to hear that. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear y'all thoughts on that before I, say anything.
My thing is Dan Gilbert, man. We remember the letter. LeBron wanted to go back so bad that he ignored the letter. But first thing I thought of when I saw this is that letter.
Right. Like I said, yeah, Dan Gilbert to me is, he's had moments where I think he's a deplorable human being. But I got to do this every once in a while. Let me play devil's advocate here. What has Chauncey Billups done? Put him on par and make him deserving of what the going market rate is for president of basketball operations.
Well,
I could basically say, what has he done to even get that job? So that would be on the Cavs, but you're going to offer it to him and then try to lowball him. So that's still on them. But I
get that point, and I thought the same thing. But when I read the Yahoo article, Yahoo said that's like the starting salary. That's not even like the average. That's the starting salary.
It is. But when you look at some of the names they threw out there as, this person just started and they got this, like these people have been on the business side of basketball for a minute. Like Chauncey's never coached, never been a GM, never been, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, that would be on Cleveland, first of all, if you want somebody with no experience to hop all of these positions and go straight to president of basketball operations. But at the same time, while I think Dan Gilbert is a deplorable human being at times, I don't know if I can justify why Chauncey Billups deserves, that kind of money without proving himself.
Well, I think you deserve that kind of money because you want to call me up for it. If you don't want to pay me what the actual going rate is, then don't call me. And I get y'all point, though.
What has he done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
He's a business person.
He's got AIDS. Did he do it?
Yeah. All right. Because some of the names that they referenced, Jim. Your squad, the Lakers president Rob Pelinka. He has a 5-year deal worth over $20 million that he just signed. That's about $4 million a year. But at the same time, Rob Pelinka has been a player agent for as long as we can remember. So contract negotiations is basically his specialty. You know what I'm saying? Then they brought up Phil Jackson, of course. Phil Jackson has never been an executive. Phil Jackson coached in the league for 11 championships and numerous amount of years. So it's like there's something on the resume besides NBA player to even justify these guys getting that job in the first place. And I do agree. Like, why are you even going to consider hiring him if you're not going to pay him what people are saying is market value? So it's two sides of that for me. It's that question, but then it's the question of like, okay, why does Chauncey Billups deserve to be? And I'm not no man. If they're gonna give you the job, Chauncey, go get that job and go get that money.
And I guess the question becomes how much stock do you put in being a coach, like in terms of moving into that executive position? Because I know Danny Ainge coached for half a second. He coached for half a second and then got up in the that whole thing
in the owner's box. Yeah. He got up in the manager's box. I always wonder. I always wonder when I see ex-players like Chauncey, and I am kind of familiar with his resume, and I have a theory as to why they would offer it to him, because he's been active in the Players Association, and he's known as a guy, that'll put on a suit and tie, and he's cool across multiple lines of people, and a bit of a politician, if you will. I get it. But there's so much more to running the operations of a business than just being able to step into the player personnel part of that business. That's what gets the press and the media.
Yeah, but you don't think you can learn that?
I would say Rob Pelinka is perfect for that kind of job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't want him learning on my dime. I don't want him learning on my dime.
No, listen. So why even call him then?
Because he thought he was going to get somebody for cheap.
You know what I mean?
Because his salary cap is so stretched out of control. He's trying to do everything cheap.
Like if you don't want to learn your dime, I don't want to learn my dime at $1.5 million either. Then if that's the case, Joe Dumars came off the street and 2 years later was the executive of the year. He had no experience. My thing is, you can look around.
If you get him to sign for 1.5, then that's. It's kind of like, I'm not paying a lot, and if he does become that good, then that's a plus for me. We know we're going to have to go back to the table at some point, but if you are going to take on somebody who's going to be learning, then why not try to throw him a little bit less money?
Listen, I mean, that's business. He offered him less money. My man said no. I mean,
he said no, and they move on.
But at the end of the day, he wrote that letter, so I look at it completely different. If he ain't write that letter,
I look at him different in the first place. I don't think LeBron James, Cleveland, and especially a Cleveland team owned by this dude, shouldn't have a championship. They shouldn't. And I still blame LeBron for even going back there, no matter what else he had at stake. Y'all had to Donald Sterling this dude to something. Do something to force this man out of town before you go back and provide his team with the ultimate level of success. I'm still not feeling it, but
and the whole thing of
right.
He was a coach. I don't believe in that either though, because Phil Jackson is proof positive. Because you succeed at one thing doesn't mean you'll succeed at the other.
No, it doesn't at all. But it still gives your resume something. Like Phil Jackson has been a part of. You just don't put people on Phil Jackson's team without him signing off on it. So no matter who the GM was throughout, Phil, go get this player. So he has to kind of know what the negotiations are going to be like because, he's basically, as your man says, he gets to buy the groceries.
It's sort of like you see in regular business all the time, where you'll have a mechanic or auto body shop, and the guy is the best in the whole building at doing the work.
To run his own.
But because not even that. Because of that, the corporation wants to hire him to be the manager to reward him for being the best at doing the work. Yeah. And now he's terrible. Just because you could do one doesn't mean you could do the other, right? And I get your point, don't learn my dime. But don't call the ball in the first place, and you wrote that letter, so FOH. So now because you wrote that letter, I look at all your moves sideways.
There's at least I think the point being made is that coming out of the coaching ranks, there's at least transferable skills in a managerial capacity. That's not to say you're going to be successful. It's really about probabilities. What gives you the most probability of being successful? Not a guarantee. And there are guys that, as you said, Joe Dumars walked in off the street and he was successful. But how many Joe Dumarses are out there? How many guys can get into the Hall of Fame averaging 16 points and 2 assists?
Experience that got GM jobs, if that's what you're asking. I can get you a list. Because all this has been coming up because of the Chauncey thing. There's several opportunities. It's sort of like a who you know type gig. He's a nice guy. Let's give him this opportunity because we can fire him anyway. But at the end of the day, man, listen. The bottom line with this situation is Chauncey did the right thing. No, don't call me then. I'm out. I'm gonna go play with Cuban now. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go tear my Achilles to shreds.
Everybody in the big three gets at the bare minimum. They get $100,000 base, and then everything goes on top of that. So the more you win, the more bread you make.
I hope they got a good health plan.
Oh my God, man! I don't even want to talk about that, man, because Bubba. Never mind. We gonna get it wrong.
Oh man, did the homie Tobias hang up?
I don't know. We gotta get us a big three segment on the show.
The Bull White Chocolate tore his spleen off the bone.
That's not funny though. Why am I laughing? Yo.
He said his spleen though.
Yo, we gotta get us a big three segment on the show, man. We be the only people.
And Corey Maggette. Of course Corey Maggette got injured. Of course he got injured. Why wouldn't he get injured? He's Corey Maggette.
Yo,
he broke his wife apart.
Captain Jack out there putting up numbers, man.
Yo, Captain Jack, I swear, listen, I know y'all saw, it ain't no way you can convince me that he's not sending tape to the NBA and trying to get back in the league, yo. Why is he playing that hard?
Listen, man,
Why
go hard.
Does he play that hard?
Go hard. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we'll talk about it later.
We're going to leave that alone because I don't want to talk about certain players, man. Break my heart right now, man. Anyway, So that's over with, man. But overall, man, this whole free agency thing has been kind of crazy for one reason to me, and that's because everybody's moving out west. Like you say, go west, young man, and everybody's doing so. At the end of last season, the 4 letters ESPN had ranked the top 14, top 15 players in the league. But out of the top 14 players, now 13 of those 14 are all in the Western Conference because you had guys like Paul George go out west.
You know what, though, Joe? I looked at that after they made that report. Paul George was the only one on that list. So it was already 12 out of the 14 on that list.
I know, but 13 sound worse.
In the West. So now, now PG went, so now it's 13. But it's not just, that's just the top 14. Like, there has definitely been a Western migration because there's a lot of other dudes, going west in free agency. But I think the 4 letters, they kind of hyped up that statistic, and it was like one extra dude from last year. And I didn't notice it until probably like 10 minutes ago. But I'm like, wait a minute. I'm looking at this list. I'm like, it's the same list.
So if I'm a big-time guy, right, if I'm one of the big-time players in the league, I'm trying to super team out east.
That's
if I'm trying to build me a super team, and I guess
Jordan
that's what maybe Danny Ainge is banking on that. I want to see who got the assets and who got the bread that I can bring my guys and go over there. Like,
I think Miami got some bread.
If LeBron goes back to Miami and brings a bunch of people with him down there.
Well, it seemed like LeBron kind of, whether it's him or the other guy's fault, bridges kind of get burnt when he leaves.
Oh, yeah, because Rob.
He and Pat weren't banging like that. But that don't mean LeBron won't go back and play for him. It's because
it's
Pat
true. I mean,
had bars for
him.
Yeah, because that letter would have been karma for that dude for the rest of his professional basketball team owning life.
Yo, let's see how much juice LeBron got. What if he told Mickey Harrison, "I'll come back, but you got to get rid of Riles"?
Mickey's like, look, well, Riles is like 70-something, so we could make that.
Yo, he get out one of them Ben Franklin lists, put all the pluses and minuses on each side. Like, let's weigh this out real quick.
All of a sudden, Riley is old.
Next thing you know, Maverick Carter is president of operations with no experience.
He'll probably do a good job, though. Maverick that bull.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to them, though. So far, man, the Summer League has started. What you guys think about the Summer League? I know y'all excited watching the young Sixers play.
Yeah, I've been, of course, tuning into their game. Your man even made an appearance yesterday. Like, he signed his contract, came over right away. My man Furkan Korkmaz.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be the dude. Like,
he don't do nothing but play basketball.
He's supposed to be the dude that eventually is gonna allow them to stop paying JJ Redick $23 million. Because if JJ, that's an easy bag for him. So I don't see why, if they have interest in him coming back next year, JJ probably gonna re-sign unless somebody on the brink of a championship is wanting his services. But if that's the case, he's not gonna get a $23 million bag.
Listen, man.
So
JJ, I hope JJ bought his contracts with him that he makes the young lady sign before they spend time with him. Hope he brought that to Philly with him. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm gonna say something that is probably unpopular to say, but it's facts. Like, I live in Philadelphia, and I hear what goes on. Like, I was in Chubby's the other night. Shout out to Chubby's. And you hear people talk about the Sixers now, which you generally don't even hear. But one of the things the Sixers have going for them is they have a young, talented team, but they also have some beige guys in the team that other people will enjoy to fill the arena. You can't even get tickets no more. And people don't want to admit that, but that's actually part of the process. Like, when you can succeed with like an integrated team like that, it's great in this city. I'm just telling you, like those people spend bags and will sell the arena out.
So when it's a whole bunch of kids that grew up in the projects and have mothers named Ann, is not as
when you have
beneficial.
It's not like you need a whole. When you have someone else on the team that can bring in a certain demographic, it just does wonders for you business wise. I will put it that way, because even when
it's funny.
When Ann's boy was there, like Kyle Korver was one of the most beloved guys on the team.
Right.
Yo,
and he left with bad blood.
Point.
Now people call him names.
I'm a JJ Redneck fan. Like, I've always been a JJ Redneck fan because he was hated
been a defender
at Duke.
Yeah.
He was hated, and I don't understand why, because he's one of them dudes. He's a Kobe Bryant type dude. Listen to me, folks. Not in talent, not in play.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, hold up. Let me
No.
I don't know where you're going with this.
JJ Redneck.
I knew where you were going, but I was going to let you save yourself.
Yeah.
So go ahead, save yourself.
I'm good. I'm good. I can swim. I can swim in the deep water.
You don't need me to run down the street and
Redneck
drop kick nobody right now. You got it.
JJ Redneck is the type of guy that works on his game for 8 hours a day, and he wants to be great. He's reached his ceiling. Like, JJ Redneck shouldn't be able to score 40 points in the NBA game. He can't dribble. JJ worked on every aspect. JJ has a 45-pointer.
Yo,
yeah. In fact, I think he scored 40 a couple times. And God bless him for not being athletic, but we saw him lock a female Hall of Famer down. We saw him lock Ray Allen down.
That's definitely a misconception strictly off of stereotypes. JJ Redick is a pretty good defender. So, like you said, I don't see, he's not going to come in and lock anybody up, but his position is not going to be a liability, with the Sixers. There's more of a chance that these young guys just being lazy are going to be more liabilities on defense for the 76ers than J.J. Redick is.
Yo, listen,
in my opinion.
All I'm saying is I'm not going to lie and say I was a fan. I was a fan when I found out that he had the audacity to make young ladies sign contracts. That is fire. So hopefully he can impart that wisdom on some of these young guys that play for the Sixers, because somebody needs to go talk to the young legend, because the young legend's out of control right now, man.
Yeah, I think Joel Embiid needs to pipe down, get healthy, remain healthy, stay on the court, and help his team win some games. I like his spirit. I like the fact that he's the one out there trying to sell things to players and tell them, we ready, come to the Sixers, this and that. Because actually a photo of him and J.J. Redick came out from a few weeks ago. I think they were at a game or something together. But all the other stuff, he on IG Live saying F LeVar Ball, and, now that he's starting to talk trash about other people, it's like that's when it's not funny anymore. You know what I'm saying? Especially, like, nobody's going to let you get away with that. You played 31 games in 3 years. Nobody's going to allow you to get away with that.
LeVar Ball is like such a big figure in sports calls that's what made headlines, but the rest of his IG rant was worse than that. He was talking about how many young memes he had. He got plenty of bees, and come get him. Like, that's
he was dominant in his 31 games, but he thinks that 31 games gives him equity that it really doesn't give him in the league. Like, you need to get on the court, man, for real. Like, it's time to stop being a clown. Like, I'm starting to worry about the social direction that this dude is going down.
I
know a lot of people probably listening like, oh, man, y'all, let him live.
I know we sound old and all that. Like, the thing is, though, the Bull is a social media legend, and I swear it's sort of like when we talk about hip-hop, man. Like, some of these dudes care more about that than the game. Like, you talk about J.J. Redick wanting to work 8 hours and all that. These dudes ain't working 8 hours, man.
And being 31,
my man,
being 31 games into your career and already being a social media legend, it just shows that you have too much time on your hands.
That's what I call these cats for now. These cats now, like, they ain't basketball players, they lifestyle boys. You got hoopers, and you got lifestyle boys. Like, he a lifestyle boy.
Yo, salute. Listen. All I'm gonna say on that is stop hanging with Meek Millie and the goons. But salute to you for putting it in Mia Khalifa's stomach.
Yo!
Alrighty then.
Let's move on. Shout out to Mia Khalifa though, like, cause never mind. Y'all can Google it. We talking. But go ahead though, man. It's time for us to move forward with all this, man. The one thing I want to say before we move on though is watching Summer League. The craziest thing to me is, I don't know if y'all see what I see, but Ben Simmons' passing ability is ridiculous because like there's certain guys that can pass the ball, but there's certain guys when you watch them pass, it's like they see that you can see that they're seeing
the passes are special.
Jimmy must have went back to last year's summer footage and got some refreshers.
Well,
not
just last year's summer footage, but like he's on like I spend too much time on IG, but he's on there like showing practice. Like he's basically
running 5-on-5s.
Yeah, and it's like when I watch him play, I'm like, yo, he sees the floor different, and it's just like LeVar Ball too, though. It's just like I'm sorry, not LeVar. Damn, I'm
doing
the same thing.
LeVar, man. Yo.
Listen, LeVar is the star this morning, man.
LeVar is a star, man.
Yo, LeVar.
We don't even care about his sons, but they're the ones that got games.
The star.
But back to Lonzo. Lonzo sees the floor too. It's like certain guys when you watch them play, it's not just making good passes. It's obvious that they see the floor differently than most people. So when I watch like Ben Simmons, like when he shows their practices, or same for Ball, like it's just different, man.
Yo, but go back and watch his highlight package from last summer. Yo, like as a fan, it makes you excited, and then to have that injury occur, it's like, damn, we gotta wait a whole year, before we get to see if he can do this in an NBA game. So watching Markelle Fultz do
offensively.
his thing. Go ahead. Offensively, what?
Offensively, he's a point guard, man. I don't know where he'll be. He's probably not going to be able to stay in front of any real ones. But offensively,
they're not going.
That dude,
they're not going to put him in front of. They're good. Because they're going to have J.J. Redick and Markelle Fultz both most likely in the starting lineup. So the guards defensively are going to be taken care of. I'm not saying those dudes are great defenders. I'm just saying they're going to be people to guard guards. You know what I mean? I think in the starting lineup, the odd man out is going to end up being the homie, Dario Saric. But he came off the bench for most of the season last year, and that should have won Rookie of the Year. So I'm not mad at it because every team needs some firepower coming off the bench. Because he sees the floor different too. When his confidence is on display, which is not every game, he sees the floor too.
But see, here's the thing, right?
Yeah, he passes.
Here's what's interesting to me, and I don't want to go too far with this, this whole Sixers thing, because again, like Durant said, they never played together. But what's interesting to me is they are built similar to Golden State, and that they have unselfish players. All these young guys, when you watch them play, can see the floor and are unselfish. You don't really have anybody like the Carmelo. You got to throw the ball in, and you got to take 65 dribbles backwards, and they don't have that. And it's going to be interesting to watch them play. And the young boy.
Jimmy, stop shooting at the revolutionary, man.
No, I'm not shooting at Melo, but I'm just talking about like I said, I don't know if Melo plays that way because of where he is, but I'm talking about how I see the league changing. It's already becoming a perimeter league, and when you look at how Golden State is built, and you look at how Minnesota's building their team, like you got to get out, run, spread the floor, and you can't play that kind of ball hog offense no more.
Yeah, but one of the real stars. Actually, two of the guys. Like, Boston's looking really good as far as their young guys are concerned. They look like, and they're taking this praise, too. Like, everybody's saying, Boston made the right, pick at number 3, and they're taking all the praise as if we all don't know that they really wanted Josh Jackson before he stood them up on the visit. But Jason Tatum from Duke has been looking real good so far. He played against the Sixers, beat them with a last-second shot. Pull-up jump shot, mid-range. He's slashing to the basket. He can hit the three. He's been looking really good in the summer league, as well as their second-year player, Jaylen Brown. He was a pick that they were excited about last season. And you know how fans get. You show promise, and then you get in the league, and you don't just get off right away, and the fans are already questioning you and all that kind of stuff. Like, players still have to grow. A lot of these dudes are really young, and everybody's not going to come in the league and be LeBron James. So, Yeah, Boston, they're looking good as far as their young prospects are concerned, but I still think they'll take a step backwards if they
Josh
lose
Jackson
those two dudes that we.
Josh Jackson said, I ain't playing in Boston, yo. I don't care what y'all do. I ain't even showing up. Yo, I'm not even showing up.
Then he went up. He ended up going out to Arizona, though, like the last state to have the Martin Luther King holiday, so he ain't no better. He ain't do himself no better. All right, so before we get into what happened while you guys were on the grind, just let you know real quick, you can check out our website at warroomsports.com. While you're there, take your time, look around, click on the Contact Us tab to send us a message about the company, the show, or to inquire about sponsorship, advertising opportunities, joining the network in any capacity, whatever business you might have with WRS. For general inquiries, email us, info@warroomsports.com. While you're browsing the site, make sure you click the memorabilia tab to buy War Room Sports merchandise. We are not going to hit you over the head for $4.95 for a pair of shoes. As a matter of fact, we had War Room Sports sneakers about 4 years ago. Jimmy, what did we charge for them joints?
They was like $70.
Hey, yeah, even that might be too much, but we ain't hit you on the head for $495. So work with us. We got the small baller brand in effect. While you're there, you can click the blog tab to read our latest articles in the All's Fair in Sports and More blog. Then click the respective icons and tabs to follow all of our social media, to subscribe to our iTunes podcast, or watch our webcast at War Room Sports TV, which we should be ramping up a little bit soon. So watch out for War Room Sports TV, and also watch our Instagram account for some video content. Look, right now we're going to be taking calls. We're going to be taking messages from the chat room, from Facebook, and you can definitely enter that chat room, blogtalkradio.com/The War Room. But if you want to call in and speak with us, dial the Digital Extreme Technologies hotline. That number is 323-410-0012. Press 1 when prompted. If you're already listening from your phone, just press 1 if you want to rap to us. All right, while y'all on the grind is brought to you by DirecTV. If you'd like a better TV experience than cable has to offer, including that NFL Sunday ticket, which will be the hottest commodity in sports in less than 2 months, make sure you go to our website, warroomsports.com, click on the DirecTV logo. Order yourself a better TV experience at a discounted War Room Sports sign-up rate. If you call yourself a sports fan, then you got to have DirecTV. All right, Venus Williams was in the news this week, and it's not just for tennis. She was involved in a car crash that led to the death of a passenger in the other vehicle. That person was a 78-year-old man. Now, people, witnesses say that, Venus ran a red light in her 2010 Toyota Sequoia, which caused the crash back on June 9th, that injured 78-year-old Jerome Barson, who died 2 weeks later. Man, I mean, we know Venus got the money to fight the case, but have you guys heard any details on this particular case?
I heard
eyewitness accounts that got her running the light, or is this just an assumption after investigative work?
Yeah. I have not heard any details. I'm anxious to hear, what these first-hand observers saw. I mean, you can marry them, but you can't be killing them, Venus. Go ahead, Jim.
Yo.
Jim.
Yo.
Dude with the papa.
Yo. There's supposedly like surveillance video. So, I don't know, cuz.
Yeah, she said that she entered the 6-lane intersection on a green light, but had been forced to stop midpoint because of traffic that was ahead of her. The Barsons were actually driving a Hyundai Accent, which, if anybody knows their car brands, Accent is a very, very tiny car, and a Toyota Sequoia is probably one of the bigger SUVs out there. So
yeah, that's a bad match.
She said it was hard to see him, whether she ran the light or not. I can agree that it's probably hard to see him, and not to be dark with this, but if you're going any significant amount of speed and a sequoia hits an accent, it's more than likely that, that there's a great chance that somebody's going to perish. I mean, he didn't die till 2 weeks later, and he was a 78-year-old man. So I don't know how much all of that played into it, but yeah, this is a terrible situation, man.
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, she hasn't been charged or cited, so we'll just. And they said she wasn't under the influence of drugs or alcohol. I believe the accident happened at like 1:30 in the afternoon. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Any new developments, we'll definitely discuss in the next show or whatever. But we're gonna move on from the darkness. This is a story. This actually happened back in April, but the reason why it caught my attention is because of a story we talked about last week, which also had something to do with one of the Williams sisters. But a club soccer team in Dallas, FC Dallas, a 15U team, which is 15 and under, actually played and beat the women's national soccer team in an exhibition game 5-2. Now, this is significant for two reasons. First of all, the U.S. women's soccer team is like the best in the world. You know what I'm saying? So, they have Olympic golds, they have World Cup golds. The second reason this is significant because we talked about the John McEnroe comments last week saying that if Serena Williams played on the men's circuit, she'd be like number 700 in the world. A lot of people got upset just because of his raw comments. A lot of people just understood that, a lot of people didn't think that he, including the interviewer, didn't think he needed to qualify that by, talking about the women's game versus the men's game. But this story, even though it happened before that, it lends a lot of credence to the notion that there's just a different world when it comes to athleticism, being a male and being a female. This also is significant because of all the stories that we've talked about in the past 3 years where you have a transgender who was born a male who decides to, become a female but plays in female sports, and people are always asking if that's fair. B, you're around soccer a lot. Like you're not up to the 15U level yet, but you're working your way up there. How surprising, how shocking, how amazed are you that they were able to beat, a gold medal winning women's team and beat them so handily? 5-2 is basically a blowout in the soccer world.
I'm surprised that
I hear FC Dallas is no joke,
5-2.
but they still 15.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they beat them 5-2. And I never really shared this, but shout out to my youngster. He practiced with college women at the age of 8, and they took it easy on him, but they could tell the difference between an 8-year-old male boy and an 8-year-old girl because there were girls present, and the girls were like having no parts of it. I think that the difference between genders in sports is pretty clearly defined. A 15-year-old boy who plays soccer in Europe, who is good, not great, but is good, is signing a professional contract and playing with men. So that's something that we don't really think about being here in the U.S. because professional sports doesn't start usually until 18, 19, 20 years old. But in the rest of the world, if you're good, and certainly if you're great, when you're 15 years old, there's a chance that you've already played or practiced your first sets or first series of games with grown men. So a 15-year-old boy beating a grown woman isn't shocking to me. It's the score is shocking because I would have thought they would have had a little bit more pride and started slide tackling and pulling out all the stops.
I don't know what.
Say, hey, you're not going to beat up on us.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I guess all I can say now is free my man John McEnroe. But it's a study, man. It's definitely a study and something that should be discussed without emotion and sensitivity. So maybe we'll have a show about, everything that covers that whole man versus woman, male versus female, the gender balance. I could have swore I know we've talked about it at length before, but have we ever had a whole show about that particular topic?
Nah, we haven't had a whole show, but we're going to do it. So we've said it on the air, so we got to commit to it. We're going to do it.
Yeah, we've said a lot of stuff, but we'll try to commit to that. We had like 60 shows from like 3 years ago we still supposed to do. But real quick, go away from sports real quick. I just wanted to ask you guys' opinion. There's been a big buzz going on because Jay-Z dropped his album, 444, to some acclaim. It seems like it just depends on where you are in your mind state of whether and at certain instances it seems like where you are as far as age determines your feelings on this particular album. Jim, I know you had high praise for it. You think this is some of Jay's best work?
Yo, it was already my
ripe old
second
age of 59.
It's already my second favorite Jay-Z album, and to be honest with you, the way I'm listening to it, it could possibly one day pass RD. RD has always been like the I'm dead serious, yo. Like RD is always
Jimmy, don't
been
disrespect. Don't ever play yourself in the words.
I'm just being honest with you, man. Listen, man. I gotta be. But absolutely. Like,
that's only because of where Jimmy is in his life. He appreciates the content. I appreciate the content. You know what I'm saying?
Dev,
Jay clowned another rapper for trying to kick knowledge. Now Jay's kicking knowledge, and this is what he's known for.
Right.
Like he's a conscious MC now, according
right.
to see. That's the funny part about it. Jimmy, I love the album, but let's not act like Jay is a conscious MC.
Dev and I fall. I know where you're gonna fall, Dev. And I've we've listened to the rave reviews Jimmy has given it, and I've listened to the album about 3 times through. I just have been very, very kind of low key on my comments. The album, objectively, the album is amazing. It's amazing work. But because I hold hip hop so close to my heart, and I feel as though it defines me, I have a bone and a beef to pick with Jay-Z as an artist.
Like what
almost, I look at Jay, certain artists you look at almost like family. I know to some people this is going to sound a little weird, but I love Jay, the artist. I love him, but I hold him accountable for where he has fallen short. I don't just blindly ignore the fact that he dropped Hola Jovito, or I don't let him off.
Are you judging the message and the messenger? Like, what are you talking about? We talking about you talking about him.
I'm not even beefing with songs that may have been trash. I'm talking content, and you can use the cliche, better late than never. Definitely better late than never, because I think there's a lot of factors that may have come into play that made Jay-Z possibly, I'm going to say possibly because I don't know. It could be, he could just be jumping on a trend and just seeing what he can do off of the trend. But there's not really that much profit to be made for Jay-Z anymore in the music business. But legacy profit, I guess. But it could be trendy. It could be, Jim, hold up. This could be that this is the real Jay-Z, that he just wasn't willing to sacrifice the money for earlier in his career. This could be the real Jay-Z.
Hold up, though. Let me point a couple things out. I already knew B.O. to take this. I don't know what's in that man's heart. None of us really know what's in his heart. But if you're going by what he says in the music, it comes off as if fatherhood is what's changed him more so than anything else.
I dumbed down my lyrics to double my dollars.
I can say fatherhood. I can say lemonade. I can say
being a
Harry
husband.
Belafonte. There's a lot of factors that could have pushed Jay into this realm.
Belafonte got up in that ass quick fast like Ramadan, and at the end of the day, I don't know what's in his heart. I was actually judging the music and not the message and not the messenger, because at the end of the day, I don't know what's in his heart. And I hate to use this analogy, but I remember, like, I've read Malcolm X's book from front to back probably more than any other book in the history of my life, and I read it like 50-something times. And he always talks about the difficulty he had, because anytime he got more information, he changed his pitch up, and he did it 4 or 5 times in his life. But anytime you do that, people judge you because of what you previously said, because sometimes you do a complete 180. And to me, if you listen to the music, it sounds like, I don't even know if it's just Fatherhood and Lemonade, but also when you start to get up into those levels business-wise, and you realize, like, yo, the story of OJ, like, it don't even matter that, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter that I'm doing these things because I'm, still making. But the bottom line is, so I don't know what's in his heart, but I was talking about the content. The actual content I like, the beat selection I like, and it's funny that he has that line that we always talk about when he says, "Truthfully, I want to rhyme like Common Sense," because he is his Common Sense album, because even down to the production, he went and got Common's producer. He has one producer throughout the whole album, no idea who is Common's producer, and some of the samples that he used, the average MC can't even afford to pay for. So he couldn't even have made this album before, because I'm listening to these samples, these Nina Simone samples, which cost a grip to clear that Harris State doesn't clear. These Stevie Wonder samples, which it costs a grip to clear. Like, so at the end of the day, like, for me, I think it's a complete body of work. I always love short albums, the Illmatics, the Thrillers. I love Give Me 10 songs, no skits, right to the point, in and out. So that I appreciate
no
that.
BS.
10 songs.
Jimmy,
10 songs.
Jimmy, the album is absolutely amazing. I will never take anything away from Jay from an MC, from a talent perspective, but I gotta hold him accountable for some of the action and some of the things that he's done, because I don't believe that Jay is unaware of what he has done as a culture influencer and really like
be like you poison the world for 12 albums.
But what I'm saying is, what does that have to do with this album?
Big enough to do it.
Most of the conscious dudes I know,
there's guys we hate that we wouldn't allow to get away with this, but because we don't hate Jay and we appreciate what he brings to the game, and what he brings to the table, talent-wise,
I disagree with that because for me, if anybody, it could be an MC I completely hate. If I see them make a transition and start to talk this talk and actually walk the walk, if you look at what he's been doing, I can't really hate on that. Most of the dudes I know who are out here in the communities doing the good work are dudes that tore the communities up. Dudes that did 20 years and was like, oh my God, like, and start to get knowledge.
But what was their awareness? What was their awareness level? See, Jay-Z has dropped gems within his album to let you know that he's aware of some of the actions that he's taking.
Yeah, but you don't know what's in his heart.
It's not a level of unawareness. This guy wasn't asleep. He grew up in an era of the nation of gods and earths. He had knowledge of self to a certain extent. He understood the ramifications, or else he wouldn't have been able to make that lyric.
You don't know what's in someone's heart, man. Like, yo, some of the dudes I know who had knowledge. Some of the 5% were the biggest criminals in the world. Some of the biggest.
You gotta be held accountable for what you're.
And I ain't gonna name names. A lot of them use their 5% name.
Yeah, please don't snitch.
Oh no, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, someone has knowledge in the 5%. What does that mean? We come from
knowledge of self.
What does that mean? What does that mean? How many criminals you know that actually are from the 5% nation, or even the Nation of Islam? Like, any of this stuff. Like,
in the words of Pee Wee Longway, I've always paid taxes and been an upstanding citizen. I don't know what you speak.
All I'm saying, B. Austin, is I can't judge him based upon, like, what I'm saying is where he's at now. I don't know what that has to do with. You saying you want to hold him accountable for all the stuff he's done. I mean, that's
well,
cool.
you can.
That's cool.
I mean, he's a public figure.
Cool.
He's put his
that's
feelings
cool.
out on audio for 20 plus years for you to judge.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, if I juxtapose that to what I see,
I want to be lyrically Talib Kweli. Well, you knew what Talib Kweli's message was 10 years ago, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I want to rhyme like common sense. You knew what Common's message was 20 years ago.
Rhyming like common sense. So my point is he wasn't ready for that. You don't know what has happened in this man's life. Death, so it could have been a Belafonte, Ether.
Belafonte, fatherhood, almost losing your chick. All kinds of stuff.
So what I'm saying is,
that'll change your mind.
Are you the same man now that you were 10 years ago? Hopefully not. It's like Muhammad Ali said, man. If you're the same dude that in your 40s that you were in your 20s, you wasted 20 years of your life. So that at the end of the day,
he said, hopefully not. Like you were a terrible human being 10 years ago.
But if you're not constantly elevating and growing,
this is Jay every day.
If you're not constantly elevating and growing, then something's wrong, man. Something's wrong. And I'm not taking up for
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not elevating and growing, but we have seen.
You said that he may have already done that, but he was giving a counter message.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying, B? Like you think there's a possibility that he's already.
I don't think Jay was some.
Yeah,
I don't think Jay was some.
I don't care.
Idiot, yeah.
Like I'm listening to the message. I don't care about the messenger because at the end of the day, I don't know what's in any of these dudes.
So you don't. So you're listening to the message. So you don't care about the other 12 albums, or
there's certain.
I ain't even gonna say 12.
I can say that.
Dog.
I can say what Jim said about most music, but a lot of there's certain hip hop artists that we grew up on. I can't totally just say that. Like Jay would be one of them dudes. You know what I'm saying? If Jay died, I might shed one like he was my cousin. If Nas died, I'd definitely shed one like he was my cousin. So some of these other dudes just purely entertainment to me. But some people, their music has held such a place in your life.
Significance.
I can't just say I don't care.
When I say I don't care, what I mean is I can't judge him based upon that. Like I didn't judge Nas for calling himself Nas Escobar. Like a drug lord and a murderer. Like, come on. Like, I mean.
But we also come on now. Now we're going to a deeper conversation. We also
I've
know
had conversations
that
about Nas's confusion. Nas, Pac. I've had conversations about all them dudes being confused with what message they want to give. But I also understand that it's music and a diverse message, keeps you relevant. I understand.
For me, it's a little different.
But I've had conversations about that.
I'm more interested in the message and the messenger, and I understand like the kind of power he holds. He shifts the culture, which is even more important that he does this. And for me, just from a music standpoint, another thing I like about this album that I don't like about any other Jay's album, this album, he's not chasing a sound. I feel like on a lot of those other albums, whether even if it was one or two songs, he always tried to like
trendy.
chase the sound and be trendy.
Magna Garbage, Holy Fail.
That he was chasing the sound, but even on Volume 1, even to a certain extent with Reasonable Doubt, there was a lot of poppy, like, P. Diddy Bad Boy type songs on there. Like, this is the first Jay-Z album, in my opinion, that he's not chasing a sound. Probably this and maybe American Gangster. Outside of those, he's like chasing sound.
Let me also say this too, Jim. I feel like this quote unquote Sean X, aka Holy Hove, I feel like the level of awareness and consciousness was there at a point in time where his message could have reached the youth a little bit more impactfully than it will now at 47 years old.
I mean,
because even the guys,
the youth ain't really banging with him right now.
Even the guys,
the youth ain't really banging with him right now.
Yeah, even the guys,
the old heads,
even the guys,
like,
and 10 years, and look, 10 years ago, even though he was our age then, they were banging with him a little bit more 10 years ago. Even 5 years ago.
Here's the thing, though. This is in terms
now
of
you
like
got Cruz
they
mad
need
at
the
him because he
message.
told him to stop putting money to their ears. How you
like a lot of those cools can do that.
And won't none of them respond lyrically because they can't.
But he put numbers.
None of them respond with bars.
People are hearing the music. So the fact that they're taking offense to it means that they've listened to it and say any names, right? So I understand what you're saying, but
he's
like,
Jay-Z though. He's in the
like,
industry. They gotta listen. no matter what they do.
It's like, yo, you're saying he could have done this then, but he may not have been ready for this. He didn't have the experiences he had. He wasn't a father, so he didn't have the experience of almost losing his bird. He didn't have the OG.
You hear this guy defending Mel?
No, I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him. That has nothing to do with Jim, but I see this all the time when people like I've seen cats, right? I've seen cats come out of prison and they start nonprofits. And everybody's saying, oh, look at him. He did all this, that, and the third. It's like, yo, you got to give dudes a chance to grow. It's not really about Jay, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can't tell someone to grow before they're ready. I don't care whether it's Jay-Z or B.O. And it always brings me back. And it always brings me back to El Hajj Malik Shabazz's book, because he talks about this extensively in his book.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody has their battles. Everybody has their battles.
I feel like
everybody. I mean, for Jay, it was obvious. Like, let me get to a place where money is just not an issue for me, and then I'm gonna turn this on. Like, I've never thought he was an idiot, because he's told us in music form what he was doing.
No, but I never said he was an idiot.
As much as I didn't like it, because I feel like, we were the early adopters, the people that actually put him on. So for you to tell us to our face, to our ears, oh yeah, I'm dumbing it down to hell with what y'all want.
You never know. All I'm saying is this. Like, you never know what someone experiences.
Man, I had reasonable doubt before Dead Presidents 2 was on the album.
All right, but listen to this, B. Austin. Listen to this, right? I've seen Colin Kaepernick. On Instagram post about Fox and text messages, and then one day before the knee, next thing you know, was Marcus Garvey quotes, and he hasn't looked back since. I don't know what happened in between that or something. And the thing is, they went back and they try to call him a hypocrite because of that. But at the end of the day, we don't know what happened. And I think it was like, I don't know what happened. I have my own theory.
Here's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, Jim. I enjoy it. Like, woke Jay-Z is a refreshment for me. Like, it's very refreshing. Like, I haven't felt this way. I haven't put a Jay-Z album on repeat in years, and I've listened to this album a lot in the past week. So it's like, it's definitely refreshing to me. But I can have my criticisms and still listen.
No, absolutely. It's open.
I ain't gonna defend everything.
Art is always open to criticism. My defense isn't for Jay-Z. My defense is for like letting someone grow.
Using, Jimmy, the examples you keep using are people that gave us no evidence that they understood or knew the ramifications of their behavior, versus somebody who has told you, as Dev just said, to your face, okay, y'all, I know what time it is, but I'm going to put this blackface on and go out and tap dance. Master love me, and do all of that, because I'm going to get all of this ducking, and I'm going to sit on top of this money pile, and then I'm going to talk down to y'all from the money pile. Like, Jay understood what he was doing and articulated to us what he was doing. So there's a level of awareness with that you have to take into account, as opposed to someone who would sleep.
Just because you give a conscious line here and there doesn't mean that you were in the place that – I don't think he could have made this album 10 years ago. I don't think he could have talked this talk 10 years ago. I personally don't. Just because you give me a line here and there. It's another thing, too. He came out, and he's still shooting people and smoking all kinds of trees. And so just because you give me a line here or there, and he just made a conscious album. Making an album, we killed half the population. Like,
who are you talking about?
Who?
He just made an album with Talib Kweli, a conscious album with Talib Kweli.
Oh, Styles P, because you were getting told, so we couldn't hear you.
Yeah. My apologies. No, I'm saying just because you give a conscious line here or there doesn't mean you can make this comprehensive body of work like that. It's life experience.
No, you probably can't. And B, you mentioned that Jay was talking down to us from the money piles. Like, if you go deep into this, like maybe songs like Story of OJ, he seemed like he kind of talking down to people from his woke, platform as well. It's like all of a sudden you're everybody's judge. You know what I'm saying? But, throughout the years, you've kind of fed us. We loved it because it was good music for most. you kind of fed us poison for 12, 13 albums, and then all of a sudden, when the light bulb goes off in your head, now you're talking down to us from your woke podium. I can see how people could take that too. Like, I've heard that criticism. That's not even coming from me.
No, I understand that too. I mean, this is the same guy that made Big Pimpin' that's now like crying basically because he felt his chick was going to leave him. But at the end of the day, listen, I know like, people change, man, and it's like a lot of times. But what he also did, Jim, to his credit, what he also did in his album, as he copped to a lot of his mistakes. So it wasn't just I'm woke and get with this. He copped to a lot of his mistakes, whether it be in his personal life, whether it be in social. And be Austin, and this is really not even like, what I'm saying is not about what you're saying. It's about some of the stuff that I say. I don't speak about it online, but like I just know that I've seen this outside of this Jay-Z. I've seen it so many times where I see guys mature who aren't stupid guys. I mean, even where I sit now and my mentality is different now than it was 5 or 10 years ago. And there's certain topics that I've completely shifted on that I wouldn't even been able to have an intelligent conversation about 10 years ago. And I don't consider myself to be a stupid guy at all.
Give us an example, good brother. Give us an example.
Huh? Shout out to Sid. All I'm saying is,
I'm about to say, we got to move on, fellas.
Shout out to Sid. But what'd you say?
We're going to move on. And Jim, I need you to screen team.
I'm ready.
Let's talk about the balls. Paul. The Ball family has a reality show coming out, and it's going to air on Facebook. That was interesting in itself because Facebook is trying to get into the video realm. I read something where they said, we're basically trying to become a platform where people gather around to watch videos. I don't know what the actual show is going to be called, but can you say we didn't see this coming? Like, I think everybody saw this coming. Maybe not on Facebook, but they saw it coming.
I'm wondering what took so long. To be honest, I think that now, on one hand, I think that it's going to be a challenge with Lonzo being in the league because teams aren't going to allow that type of access to him. But then why would we care? Because it's all about LeVar anyway.
This is something where you're literally going to be able to call him or them pioneers because this is one of 2 shows that Facebook is going to use to launch, in a series of new projects. So they're basically, this and another show is basically going to be the guinea pigs. And like I said, Nick Gruden, Facebook's vice president of media partnerships, he said what I said earlier. He said, our goal is to make Facebook a place where people can come together around a video. So to help get there, we're supporting a small group of partners and creators as they experiment with the kinds of shows you can build a community around, from sports to comedy to reality to gaming. And knowing what we know about LeVar Ball, his show will probably have all 4 of those concepts and components all wrapped into one. So shout out to them.
I just want to say real fast that to me, what's most interesting about this story isn't LeVar Ball or any of that. It's literally the Facebook finally making this move. Everyone knew this was coming.
Right.
If you look at what happens in business and social media, Twitter tried it. Twitter tried it with the football, and everyone knew that this was coming. So I'm more interested to see how Facebook pulls off this television thing because essentially, if you look at the landscape of social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the big boys are, they are our new channels. I realized the other day that I watch more IG Live and IG video than I do TV sometimes. And I'm like, damn, these are really becoming our TV stations. So it's only a matter of time before we start getting scripted shows. Not that some people's stuff isn't scripted already. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the IG models out there. But this, to me, that's the most interesting thing about this whole story.
God. Here go Casey Mack with the winners and losers. Ball family plus Facebook equals 24-hour access. Lonzo rookie contract guarantees him $33 million. The Ball family wins. No, has Casey Mack not ever started off a conversation about them without saying that they win?
See, here's the problem.
This is not about winning.
Yo, balls.
Because it depends on your idea of winning.
Out of his mouth, but
now if he goes on this show and you have 24-hour access and he's not doing anything to uplift his family or community, if it's a coon show, does he still win just because they're getting paid off of it? I'm rooting for him not to do that. I hope it's something, positive.
Casey Mack, let me tell you something real quick, Casey Mack.
Just winning if you get money.
You know we love you like a brother, Casey Mack. But here's the problem, and I'm gonna give you some game real quick. The problem is you have never came out on the other side against anything that this gentleman has done.
Right. So there's no objectivity
even humanly
there.
possible. There's not even humanly possible.
You're biased.
There's not one person walking this planet that I don't think. Listen, man, my mother makes mistakes, and I love my mother unlike anybody else. But the fact of the matter is, there isn't one person walking this earth that I agree 100% with. Not my wife,
right.
Not my brother's hair, not anybody. So you have to be people that we love. We can admit when they make mistakes. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so you
Casey Mack, you got to stop carrying the balls. You got to stop.
And we only telling you that because we love you, right? Because here's the thing: if I mess up, I want one of my brothers to tell me like, "Yo, you drawn." Because if you don't, you're really not my friend. So as your friend, you got to admit that.
You drawn on defending Sean X.
I mean, hey, if you feel that way, you feel that way. I have my reasons, and I'm not really defending Jay. I'm just defending the idea that a man could change, and we're gonna move on from that because LeVar Ball can change too. LeVar Ball might get the bag. LeVar Ball might get the bag.
Can change.
Are we gonna finally see his wife? There has to be a balance there. You just can't really think in your mind that everything he does is defensible. Like, I've defended this man in certain circles because people are going too far the other way.
Y'all already know.
But dude,
y'all already know. There's a lot of black men. There's a lot of black men out there that see a little piece of themselves in LeVar Ball, and they're rooting for LeVar to be successful because every shot that we see in the media of black men that we don't really control is negative and us losing. That's one of the reasons that Casey Mack continues to say the word winning, because he's equating winning with the exposure and the money.
He went on to say, everybody who makes $1 is cooning, ain't they? And that couldn't be farther from the truth, even though I know you're being sarcastic. That couldn't be farther from the truth.
Not at all.
There are plenty of ways to make $1 without cooning, and I don't think every single way that this man makes his dollars
that's not true.
You can't
say isn't cooning, man. Listen, man, we're not socialists over here, dog. We just call it like we see it. The fact of the matter is, man, the legend Marcus Messiah Garvey was the biggest capitalist in the world, but he wasn't cooning. Now, with that being said, I just want to give you guys a little bit of game that my homie Roy Burton from the First Street Line, which is on the War Room Sports Podcast Network, he said something to me, and I was like, damn, that's bars. He said, every sports argument is somewhere in the middle, but the problem is most people are too far to the right or too far to the left. It's
just like politics.
The answer is always in the middle, dog.
Yo, Roy's a genius.
Yo, Roy's the homie, man. But the fact of the matter is, like, you're always too far to one side, Casey Mack. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that dude is a complete loser, because there's parts of what he does that we enjoy. Yo,
right.
you 100%
like last week. Remember I said last week, like, yo, the way he's running around in the ring with his shirt off and smiling and all that kind of stuff, shucking and jiving, that was a criticism. But then I also said, okay, the way he had 4 mannequins chilling in the ring with Big Baller Brand on, introducing that to a whole different audience was, I don't throw around the word genius, but that was a great concept and a great idea. So there has to be a middle ground, man. Like, everything ain't about LeVar winning. Like, you can do other stuff and still win. All right,
listen, man, look, man. We love Dr. King, but we know that he used to. Never mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dad.
Yo, I'm gonna go out talking about the Big Three a little bit, because y'all did that. Y'all started talking about that a little bit earlier. So real quick, birthday shout-outs. Of course, the birthday is always brought to you by Digital Extreme Tech. Go get your websites and your apps from Digital Extreme Tech. Birthday shout-out to Nnamdi Asomugha. He turns 36. Pau Gasol is 37. Sophia Witherspoon WNBA great. She's 48. Alvin Harper, the other dude, across from Michael Irvin. He's 49. Matt Barr, former NFL kicker, he's 61. And Willie Randolph turned 63. So shout out to all of these people on their birthday. The big three, we started talking about it a little bit before you guys.
Dev, can I ask you a quick question real quick? One second. Is Sophia Witherspoon related to Clarence Witherspoon?
She most certainly is not, because remember, his name is Weatherspoon. And she
Weatherspoon. Okay, got you.
And she's better than him.
I just know that
she's better than Baby Barkley.
You called her a legend. I have no idea who she is.
All right, so you guys mentioned some of the cats in the big three. My thoughts, I've watched every game over the first 2 weeks. I mean, it's interesting just because of what it is, who it is. You know, it's not the most exciting thing in the world. And I kind of think, you know, besides NBA All-Stars playing 3-on-3 right now, I think pretty much any 3-on-3 league is just going to be all right. But I still think Ice Cube could be on something because so far, I don't know how long it will last, but they've been selling out, you know, real basketball arenas. The excitement seems like it's there. Like they interview a lot of celebrities on the sideline, so I don't know if they're just talking so positively because they're just looking out for Cube or they're really having that kind of fun there. But, you know, he could be on to something. But, you know, definitely got to get the level of play up.
I think they're having fun. I think they're having fun because there are guys, I think at the age of 34, between 34 and we'll call it 45, when you leave at NBA basketball, which is, you know, 24/7, 330 days of the year of your life from the time you enter the league until the time you leave, those guys don't just stop playing basketball. And they don't stop being competitive.
That was a Poma stat.
They
just came out with a number.
Yeah, it was. But it just, I think, so it capitalizes on the fact that these guys still play and can play at a high level, albeit not, you know, an NBA type level. So I think he definitely has grabbed on to something. It's painful to see. I was just about to segue. Yo, it's painful to see some of, no, I ain't going to even say some of, there's one particular player that is painful to see because, yo, that's the God, man. I'm going to let one of y'all garbage that, man. It's painful to see.
What he's saying, folks, is that Allen Iverson is garbage. He's averaging 2 points a game. He's getting his player coach on. He's trying to act like he's trying to let Andre Owens get his shine, so that's why he's sitting on the bench. He's sitting on the bench because Allen Iverson, which he didn't do in his career, he actually gets tired now. He actually gets plucked now. Like corny people just taking the ball from him. Like he just doesn't seem like he can dominate this league like we thought he, you know, may have been able to do. It's sad to say, but Allen Iverson is probably showing us right now that he's one of those guys that we used to talk about who basically lived off of athleticism and God-given ability. Remember those guys that said when they lose that step, they're going to fall off crazy?
Yeah.
You know. We probably knew we were talking about him then. We just didn't want to admit it.
The skill level is high. The guys that have a deep skill level are still able to wow you. And the guys that can't are Jimmy, go ahead.
My only comment
is Kwame, he's still garbage.
My only comment is that basketball players that come from Philadelphia never rely on athleticism. We all have sound fundamentals because of how we play on the playground. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man.
Which is why Katino Mobley and Rasul Butler are two of the best players in the league so far.
Yo, rest in peace, Bubba Chuck, because that ain't Bubba Chuck out there.
Katino Mobley looks like Father Time.
Yo, that ain't Bubba Chuck. Man. Out of here, man. Thank you, good people. For
that is Allen.
Put him in the grave, though.
Dev, can you take us out of here, Dev?
Yeah, will do. Just want to thank the good people for joining us for another briefing in the War Room. Shout out to everybody in the chat room on Facebook, Twitter, all the callers who called in to holler at us. Sorry about the ones we didn't get to. Tune in next week live right here or on demand on the WRS Podcast Network for another 2 hours of the greatest sports talk around. We'll recap another week in the sports world. So until then, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week. We'll see you right back here next time. Be sure to catch our conversations on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our blogs, webcasts, and network podcasts on warroomsports.com. Also, make sure you pick up Jimmy's book at sportsthebook.com or warroomsports.com. Until next time, everybody, don't accept mediocrity. Be steadfast in the war against ignorance, and we'll see you chumps on top.
6 to 8. Yeah. War Room Sports. Y'all ready? Let's go. Stay in tune to Jimmy. Know the blueprint. Yo. Every Thursday, 6 to 8, they do this. Shout out to Dev, PJ, B. Austin, Bay on replay. WarRoomSports.com. Get that mobile app. If not, dial 323-140012. They be going and you sensitive, then oh well. Physical podcast, let's talk sports. Showtime like magic in the block push. Listen live, push one to join in. Rip your team or listen for your enjoyment. Hip hop scholars, pit stop and knowledge. Should be in sports credits, I ain't talking college. 5 guys, no beef though. Corporate secret, but the streets know. Belafonte, I got a G flow. KC, royalty, I'm in beast mode. 2 hours, get your game up. Who's the best in sportscast? You better name us. War Room Sports. Yeah, you know, Jimmy, Dev, PJ, Jack Beck, B. Austin. I'm Jack. Up and coming on the beat.
War Room Sports. www.warroomsports.com. What? Ain't no more to it.
Towels? Check. Cold drinks? Check. Just one more thing before you're ready for family fun in the sun. Swing by your local Target for Beach Defense Sunscreen from Neutrogena. Featuring breakthrough Helioplex technology, Beach Defense keeps your family covered with clinically proven protection against harmful UVA/UVB rays, yet stays lightweight, fast-absorbing, and oil-free. Remember, all sunscreens are not created equally. Keep your whole family protected this summer with Beach Defense from Neutrogena. Head for your local Target today for great summer season deals. Towels? Check. Cold drinks? Check. Just one more thing before you're ready for family fun in the sun. Swing by your local Target for Beach Defense Sunscreen from Neutrogena. Featuring breakthrough Helioplex technology, Beach Defense keeps your family covered with clinically proven protection against harmful UVA/UVB rays, yet stays lightweight, fast-absorbing, and oil-free. Remember, all sunscreens are not created equally. Keep your whole family protected this summer with Beach Defense from Neutrogena. Head for your local Target today for great summer season deals.